Yo, 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 what's good, what's good, everybody, man. It's been a minute. We got a big fight tomorrow, y'all. We got a big fight. Um, Canelo Alvarez versus Jermell Charlo. Which Charlo is it, man? I have no idea. I'm confused with these dudes.
Jam-
Charlo is it, man?
Jamel.
It's
It's
Jermell.
Jamel, the 54.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
We got we got Canelo versus Jermell Charlo. Now, this to me was an unexpected fight when it first got announced. It was a little bit weird. I wasn't expecting Canelo to be fighting a smaller Charlo out the two. Some things happen. Obviously, he's the one who's fighting tomorrow. But man, when you see them two guys stand up and face each other, man, he doesn't look like the smaller guy. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't look like the smaller guy. And I've been listening to his recent interviews, and he's very humble now. He's got a humble personality. He's speaking with respect. His energy is like real calm. So, you know, when I first heard this fight, I remember saying to myself, easy fight for Canelo. Canelo should be able to just break him down, pick him apart. But he's a fighter. And he's been proven over and over again that he's a fighter, that he's gonna give it all he got. He does have some skills. He is tall. He got a good jab. Eddie, what's your thoughts, man? Talk to me.
Interesting fight. I would have thought it would have been Jamal that was fighting him, but he got other issues from what I understand. But Jamel is the undisputed champ at 154. He is tall. Like I seen him in person. Compared to Canelo, I think he's about like 5'11" or something like that. Something like that. Um, compared to Canelo, yeah, he got height, he got range on him. I think, but I think it's going to be more than that. Um, I think the way that Charlo can really, dictate. I think the pace of it would be the pace. He would just have to be busy. Kind of look at how Bivol fought him, because I don't think, even though Charlo's a good puncher at 54, and he's a pretty big puncher in general. I don't know if his punching power, even at 168, is going to be obviously the same as it was at 54. And then we also got to remember Canelo has been in there with bigger guys for a while now, so he's at least accustomed to the power coming from that. The thing that he might not be as accustomed to is you see him, struggle a little bit with, was that when he was fighting guys like I'm trying to think like damn, I'm losing that, Amir Khan, the pace and the speed early in the fight from Amir Khan kind of gave him trouble. You know what I'm saying? Even though he ended up getting a knockout eventually, the speed, even with Kell Brook. And then I'm sorry, that's the wrong guy. I was thinking with Triple G, but no, yeah, with Triple G, but with Canelo and Khan, he was struggling with that speed and that pace. So if I'm Charlo, I already got the height, I already got the range. I'm thinking like Bivol, and even with Bivol, once again, the way he fought Canelo, outworked him. He didn't allow him to, the big punches that Canelo would try to throw periodically. He didn't allow it to affect him too much. Although, his arms were beat up after the fight, it's still, he still was able to keep Canelo at bay and fight it from the outside, throw those awkward combinations and keep him at bay. If Charlo can somehow, get that kind of a flow going, it's a possibility he can outwork Canelo. You know what I mean? But I don't think he's going to have to go in there with the idea of being able to like do what he's did with like Tony Harrison and other guys that he fought, where he's kind of caught him at the end. I just don't think that's going to happen with Canelo. He's a little more defensively responsible in tone. Even though I like Tony Harrison's style, he's a good fighter, a real good fighter, and obviously Canelo's the bigger puncher bigger puncher than Tony Harrison as well. So I don't know. I don't think that the same effects will be given there, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. But if I had a plan with Charlo, it would be for something like that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? To outwork him. Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
In the building.
sorry, y'all. Had to do something real quick. Not professional, not quite. My bad. Real funny. I hear you laughing. But I'm back.
Uh,
My bad.
I lost my train of thought, man. All right, back to the fight. You know, it's funny because even though Jermell Charlo is quote unquote the smaller fighter in this fight, first
He's not.
he's not the smaller fighter when it comes to height, and then we go quote unquote he's the faster fighter because he's the lighter fighter, but I don't necessarily think he's the faster fighter. To me, he's not faster than Canelo. Now,
Right. Well. Remember, I didn't. You notice that. You notice I never said anything about speed. I just said pace. I didn't think so much. You know what I mean?
Now, I do think like I'm trying to picture what he can do to win in this fight. The only thing that Jermell Charlo shows me in this fight that gives him an opportunity to win is the fact that he has the heart and the tenacity to win fights. We've seen him in fights in the past where he kind of surprised us a little bit in just how he was able to bite down on his mouthpiece. So that's what I see from Jermell Charlo that brings an issue, a hungry kid, a hungry fighter with a chip on his shoulder. And Canelo being, you know, a guy who's already proven so much. Does Canelo take his foot off the gas a little bit and kind of get a little lackadaisy, I should say, in this fight and maybe underestimate, or maybe he didn't train like the way he normally has in the past? Is his hunger level the same? So that's what's interesting.
Good point.
That's the interesting thing to me in this fight, more so than the stylistic matchup. Stylistically, I feel like the fact that Jermell is taller, he's more of a target for Canelo. I think he's going to fall for a lot of the traps that Canelo is going to set. Canelo's fantastic at feinting. I think he will feint Jermell, and he will be able to throw him off, possibly catch him with some good left hooks. So I got Canelo. Tomorrow I kind of want to do a video where I break down step by step. So guys, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification, because when I upload tomorrow, I want to do a play-by-play of exactly how I believe the fight's gonna go down. I'm gonna actually refresh my memory and watch both guys tonight a little bit. But I just right now, off the top of my head, I just can't see how Jermell's gonna win this fight. I just can't.
That's where I was struggling, was trying to figure out how he would win. But the more I thought about it, I mean, if I was going to say that there's a way he can win, would be the way I described it. Would be using his range, fighting like a similar to Bivol and what he did and how he outworked Canelo. You know what I mean? But he would have to be able to stage off that attack. That's the difference. See, with Bivol, he was at 175 pounds. He was able to, he wasn't drained or anything like that. I'm not saying that Charlo will be. Obviously, he's not. He's fighting at a heavy weight. But he was stronger. He was capable of dealing with whatever Canelo was bringing. He was used to punches from bigger guys, so it didn't affect him. You know what I mean? The punching, the so-called punching, not saying so-called, but the punching power that Canelo had. But with this, can Charlo stage that off? Is Charlo strong and tough enough to deal with that attack? And some of those shots he's not going to see coming. And we know that those shots you don't see coming are the ones that take you out. So it's going to be an uphill battle. He's already, like I say, going up in weight, but it's actually going to be more than just that. It's going to be, there's a high level of skill. He's running into a hell of a pedigree, so much experience. It's just a lot of things he's got to overcome in this here fight. But like you said, he does have the heart. He has the determination, and he's going to try.
Let's go ahead and look at this at a benefit of the doubt for Charlo, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say Charlo comes out utilizing his jab, being busy with it the way you recommended that he is, that he's nice and busy. He's working his jab. He's using his footwork. He's turning Canelo. We do know that Canelo has a tendency of getting a little bit lackadaisical, slipping too much without
flat-footed.
He gets a little flat-footed. He gets a little lazy, I think, like in moments of the fight. can you see Charlo winning a decision? Because Charlo can out hustle, maybe even tie up Canelo every time Canelo gets close. And really just present a volume game, like you said. But when people think of volume, they're thinking of it like the way where Bivol kind of pressed Canelo on the ropes or whatnot. But how about more so like volume in circles, turning him, using his jab, using his combinations, tying him up, and just doing that for a duration of 12 rounds? Is that something that you really realistically can see? Because as I'm saying it, I'm like, I kind of can see that.
See?
I kind of can see it. I'm looking at it. And you know what? Charlo actually has a way better fucking chance than I thought he did.
See why you think I said what I said? It's an uphill battle, but you see what I'm saying? Once you look at Bivol and how he dealt with him, you start thinking, well, damn, can he punch through that armor every single time? You see what was going on with him. He was able to deal with it. If Charlo's he's damn near the same size, you know what I mean, height wise, and if he put on the weight right, you know what I mean, he's gonna be stronger, strong.
Talk about the weight real quick. Who has the advantage going into this fight as far as weight?
That's what I'm saying. It's a good chance that Charlo has. There's a lot of advantages, but see, look, you got to break down the skill though. It ain't always just, it's not just about the size and all that. We understand how Charlo could possibly win, but we realize that Canelo is a different breed. The one thing that we do understand, and what you mentioned that I really like that you mentioned, is Canelo still up to the standard? Is he still like up for this? Is he ready? You know what I mean? Of course he's gonna be ready. You know what I mean? You seen the video when he said, "I don't have to get ready, I stay ready," that kind of shit. You know what I mean? But at the same time, sometimes, man, when you feel that you got a challenge in front of you that is kind of a little beneath you, you might not be up to the challenge as much. You're not there. You might not train like it's as big as. But this situation can be, because like we just was talking about, like you just mentioned, like I just mentioned, there is a chance in here for him. It's not impossible. The more you think about it, for him to actually win the fight.
It's really
not necessarily by knockout, but by decision.
Nah, 100%, and it's a very intriguing fight because it's kind of a sleeper. This is one of those fights where it's like, you kind of sleeping on Charlo. Everybody's kind of sleeping on Charlo, but part of us all know that Charlo does have a real chance, and he has a lot to prove, where Canelo has already proved a lot. So this is just one of those situations. Is this the right time? I tell you what, this is the best time that Charlo can ever ask to get this fight. He said that, apparently he wanted the fight years ago. I don't think that would have been a good idea. I think it's a much better chance. He has a much better chance at this stage of his career. Now I don't know. Have you watched any of the interviews with Charlo for this fight? Have you taken
a little one? I saw the one where he was on stage a little bit and what he was saying, but it was just hyping the fight up basically.
You see his demeanor is a little bit more like humble, respectful. Why do you think that is? Because in the past we've seen him be very passionate and very
a little emotional.
Emotional. Like is this because he's fighting Canelo, or is this because he's trying to separate himself from his brother? What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's a respect thing. I don't think Jamal. I don't know. I can't remember which one seemed more emotional. I thought it was Jamel that seemed more emotional than Jamal. I think Jamal was always the one in the back.
I feel like they were both equally emotional for a long time.
At times I would see, but I would see it was always Jamel that was always, you know what I'm saying? Like especially with Tony Harrison, he was trying to prove so much, and then Tony kind of like he punked him a little bit at the one press conference. But it just, I don't know, man. I think it's it's a little bit age. You know what I mean? He's starting to get up a little bit. Not old, but he's getting more mature. He's starting to understand, and he's in there with a dude that he knows is a dog that been out there. Been, once he done everything he needed to do, and he know it ain't no game. He knows he's stepping up to a different level here. So it's not like, and he's also going up to a different weight. So even though he may feel good at this weight, and he may be a big guy at this weight too, he's still got to deal with Canelo, and he's looking at this shit like, yo, this dude is real. You know what I mean? All the other guys he fought, I'm not saying that they weren't. I'm not saying that but they were never a threat to him like Canelo is.
He knows the difference. He knows that he's in a different league. Now, do you feel like who has the advantage going into this fight? Because we know that Canelo has done everything, and we already touched on the fact that maybe he didn't wake up to this fight. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just going over
Yeah. Just think it possibly, yeah.
from
Hypothetical, yeah.
people. Don't say that's what I'm saying. I'm just
Right.
suggesting maybe he didn't wake up with the same hunger that he normally does. But is there a certain amount of pressure on Canelo and less pressure on Charlo for this fight?
I
So
think I, I think 1,000%.
think that that could be a benefit to Canelo, knowing that there's pressure here. Like, you can't lose to this guy. You're supposed to be way better. Or does that pressure kind of mess him up going into this fight? And have you ever been in a situation where you felt that situation where, you know, you had the pressure of supposed
Yeah.
to be a better fighter,
Oh yeah.
and you end up having that be as a negative for you?
I could tell you right now, from my situation, my perspective, I fought the my first cruiserweight fight, my first and last cruiserweight fight up to this point, with a kid who was a lot better than we knew. He didn't have anything online that I could find. There was nothing I knew about him. But because I was so good at heavyweight and done so many great things at heavyweight, they expected me just to dominate the division with no problem. He came in, had like 175 amateur fights, had a great amateur career, had a great pro career up to this point. He had only had one loss. So they were still looking like, yo, this dude ain't fought nobody like you, which is true. But then they didn't take into account that I fought nobody like him. He was the shortest person I've fought, and one of the few people that were shorter than me in my career that I fought. And it was something totally different, something I wasn't expecting. And I had tons of pressure on me to perform. I was supposed to go in there and just wipe the floor with him, knock him out, send him home. But it wasn't that simple. The pace was different. Everything was so different. So I ran into a situation that I had no clue what I was running into. You know what I'm saying? And then you look at this situation, Canelo. Supposedly, oh, Canelo's the bigger guy. He's been at this, he's done this, he's done that. Now you got this kid Charlo coming up, who, yeah, we done had, he got history, we know about him, but we don't really, there's a lot of people that don't. And of course Canelo and them, they I think, at one point going back and forth, not necessarily back and forth between each other, but he said he wanted to fight Canelo. But there's I think there's pressure on Canelo for sure. I think Charlo's in a situation where, yeah, if you go up, you lose. So what? He's still undisputed at 154. He can go back down, similar to the way Canelo was when he fought Bull. You understand what I'm saying? He can go back down and still reign as champ down there. He can fight, maybe get a fight with Crawford or somebody else later. You know what I mean? And change everything around. Whereas Canelo, I don't think that can happen. If he goes up and he beats Canelo.
So let me ask you: does that wake Canelo up to really?
It should.
I gotta protect this situation, or is he like kind of like thrown off in a little bit? I mean, it's hard to say. Can a guy like Canelo get like a little bit nervous considering the high level of opposition he's been in the ring with?
Right.
The situation is different here because when he fought the high level of opposition before, it was guys like Bivol, it was guys like Triple G, where he could justify a loss. He's not supposed to lose tomorrow.
That's right. This is a different fight.
That's a different pressure when you're not supposed to lose, and the guy in front of you is good enough to possibly beat you.
Oh yes,
it's a different kind of pressure.
It's just like I said. It's the same thing I felt and I ran into in my situation. I'm supposed to dominate that weight class. I'm supposed to win a title in like 2 or 3 fights, and there's no problem. I'm supposed to probably be undisputed. It's the same kind of thing here. This is the undisputed king at 154. He goes up to this. He's fighting the undisputed at 168. Theoretically, he's not supposed to have a chance in there with the undisputed 168-pound king. He's two weight classes above him. Ain't no way. But you know what I'm saying? There's that little bit of added pressure that he's not supposed to. And Canelo, you are supposed to. But if he's really who he's supposed to be, which I really believe he is, he's not going to get in there with that mentality. He's not going to get in there giving a fuck about either one of those things. He's already got trillions in the bank. He's already done. His legacy is set. Even if he loses, it's going to look bad, but it's something you could forget about. He's like, oh, he's past his prime. He's gone. He understands that there are always going to be things favoring him. So him going in there and losing to Charlo is bad, but it ain't the worst thing in the world, especially when he knows, man, look what I've done in my career. Look who I beat. Look where I was. I'm old now. I can retire. I lost. So what? I'll get a couple easy fights after this and sail off into the sunset with my billion. You know what I mean? So it's like, does he really pay attention to all of that? If I was him, I wouldn't. I would just go in there loose and ready to fight, just like anything else. I'd be all, I'm always nervous, no matter. I go in there with the same nerves as I did with fighting any of the other dudes I fought before and just deal with it as it comes. You know what I mean? Deal with, use the plan, stick with the game plan, go out there and try to win the fight like I'm supposed to.
Yeah,
That's
man.
it.
Yo, I'm glad this fight's happening only because I didn't want to see Canelo try to beat Bivol in a rematch. Just not interested. I'm not interested in
Because,
seeing him fight those kind of guys. I want to see him fight like the Charlos, maybe close
mm-hmm.
out with maybe the Benavidez or an Andrade or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the kind of
Mm-hmm.
fights I want to see Canelo win. Guys that are a little bit lighter in weight, guys that he really should be fighting. He was trying to like make history and keep going up and up and up. And he got shut down by Bivol. And honestly, even if he could beat Bivol in a rematch, I'm just not interested to see that fight. I'm really not. Like, whatever. Just let it be, brother. Hold that down. So this is actually a really fun fight tomorrow. Like, I haven't been excited about a fight where I'm like, yo, this is a fun matchup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is a
Right.
fun
Right.
matchup. I'm really excited about this matchup.
Yeah.
Even if Canelo goes in there and let's just say dominates him, I'm not going to be
Still
disappointed.
interesting.
I'm not going to be disappointed because the build-up and the intrigue of the matchup is so good that whatever happens tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's kind of, it's like a hardcore fight that you kind of want to see. You want to see how it plays out. You know what I mean? It's guys who know the game that look at him like, oh, this is intriguing. You know what I mean? This is the kind of matchup that it's like you said, it's a sleeper kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you don't expect anything from it, but then again, it's like, wait a minute, maybe it is, because you start looking at the style matchup, you start looking at the size, you start looking at all of those things, and you start saying, okay, yeah, this could be something a little more interesting than we thought at first when we first heard about it. You know what I mean? So look, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not gonna sit and just write it in stone that Canelo's gonna win, because it's not guaranteed. But if I'm a pick, I'm picking Canelo, because I really believe that at the end of the day, it's about the skill. There's going to be speed. There's maybe a slight speed advantage for Canelo, and definitely the experience gap, as well as just the pedigree in general. He's been in the game for years, man. Turned pro at 15, still going high at a high level at this point. So he's got so much experience. It's just going to be it's an uphill battle, but Charlo does have enough. If he can deal with the onslaught, if he's defensively responsible enough, there is a way that he can win it. And I'm not saying it's like, oh my God, it'd be the most far-fetched thing on earth, but I'm gonna pick Canelo, but there is definitely a way that Charlo can pull this out. He's just got to be willing, and he's to be behind that stick, not only that stick, but those odd combinations, those straights, and he's got to be willing to, sometimes be more defensively responsible than maybe he's used to having to do in the past. And if he does that, I think he can possibly pull something out, maybe by decision.
So how, like, let's go ahead and let's get right to it. Let's just get your final prediction. How do you see the fight going? Exactly what round, or if it goes to decision, how do you got it going tomorrow?
I'm gonna say Charlo. Canelo. I'm gonna say Canelo. I'm gonna say it's hard for me to, because I've never really seen Charlo in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So, and of course, this is Canelo we talk about, so it's a different level right now. But I haven't seen him in trouble. He's tough. He's determined. I don't think he'll get out of there. You know what I mean? I don't think he'll be out of there. I think it will go to decision, but I'm definitely picking Canelo. I think the second half of the fight is going to definitely be telling. He's going to start to dominate it as the fight goes down the stretch. That he'll end up winning. Not necessarily going away, but it'll be enough space in between, man. It could be a late stoppage, but I wouldn't think so. I just think Canelo by decision.
Yeah, man. I think I want to give a full prediction tomorrow with an analysis, but I'm gonna give a quick decision. I don't know, man. I could see Canelo stopping Charlo. I'm gonna be honest. I really could see it.
Good.
I could
It's
see
not
him.
impossible.
Yeah, I could see him breaking him down, catching him with good. And when I say breaking him down, I don't necessarily mean breaking him down by just putting uh, pure brute force. I can see
Hmm.
Canelo breaking him down with skills throughout the duration of the night, like catching him with sneaky check.
Demoralizing them. Yeah.
Yeah, catching him with good shots that he
Yeah.
just didn't see coming, and
Yeah.
eventually just seeing his face getting swollen up. Like this is what
Yeah.
I'm
It's
envisioning in my
possible.
head. Then eventually Canelo just stopping him, maybe I don't know 7 through 10 somewhere in that area. You know what I'm saying? I could see
It's
that.
not a bad pick. It's
I
not a
can,
bad pick.
I can also see Canelo winning a decision.
Mhm.
Trying a lot of stuff and it's just not as successful as he thought. And I could see it just going to decision and him winning. And then I can also see the upset of Charlo using Valium, using his jab, tying Canelo up and just out punching Canelo and winning a decision. I can't see Charlo winning by knockout. I don't see that.
Yeah, I
I,
don't see it either.
I just think that Canelo's got too much experience. Of course, anything can happen. But
Yeah.
those are the three different variations I see. My first pick is Canelo stopping him. Second pick is Canelo decision. Third pick is Charlo with an upset by decision. I don't
Right.
see a
Right.
knockout from Charlo. So
Yeah.
three
Yeah.
things,
I think
anything's possible.
I mine would be the only thing I would flip flop was my first one would be Canelo decision. Second one would be Canelo late stoppage, 10, 11, 12. Or of course Charlo pulling it out. Definitely by decision. Close unanimous. Maybe if it was Charlo pulling it out.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
It's not totally out of the realm. So for everybody out
yeah,
there listening to us, I think me and Eddie are in agreement that this
yeah.
is an interesting fight, and Charlo is a live dog. He's
Oh
an
yeah.
underdog. He's an underdog,
Hmm.
and I'm treating him like an underdog, but he's a live dog, and he's not a fighter that you want to overlook.
Yeah.
So before you go ahead and put all your money on Canelo, take a look at
Not
those.
a dead dog.
Take a look at those odds, and
Yeah.
really make a decision because you might win some money on Charlo tomorrow night. You never know. You know what I'm
You
saying?
never know, bro. You
You
never
don't,
fucking know.
you
It's
don't
like
want
that. It's been
to go crazy and just
right.
completely not give this man a chance. He has a chance. I'd say this is like a 70-30. Is that fair?
That's really fair.
I think
That's actually a good number
I think
because
it's 70-30
80.
Canelo, in my opinion.
I think maybe even 75-25, but 70-30, I think is a little more, even more realistic. You know what I mean? I would have thought, like, if I would have picked a percentage, I would say 75-25. But now the more the fight gets closer, the more you can see there's a possibility. So and that's generally how it is with the bookies and the bets and all that too. You see that the money line and all that stuff is different, and it gets a little closer as the fight gets closer because you start, different people start seeing different outcomes, some different possibilities. And with Charlo, you got to remember he's used to winning, bro. It's not like he's going in there with the idea I'm about to go lose. He's used to winning, and he is the undisputed champ at 154. So you got to remember he's not just getting in there off of nothing. He got a nice resume behind him, even at this point. So it's like it's not impossible. You know what I mean? Just not probable. You know what I mean? What probably will happen is Canelo wins that decision, but most likely, and most likely that's what's going to happen. But there is a chance in there somewhere. You know what I mean? For every 5%, for every 25%. You know what I mean? Give five to my other guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's possible, but not probable.
Yep. So there you have it, guys. I'm gonna get on here tomorrow. Definitely at some point, either after the fight, before the fight, another live stream, 100%. I'm also gonna give you guys a breakdown of video that I'll go ahead and upload to the YouTube channel. So make sure you guys are subscribed and you hit the bell notification so you could be updated. Plus, me and Eddie been dropping a lot of heat for you guys. I don't know if you guys been watching the YouTube videos or the shorts and stuff like that, but we have been constantly posting. We've been very active. So for you guys out there who want to learn boxing and you guys like to learn boxing on YouTube, right now I suggest that you go back on the channel and just go through the videos, man. There's a lot of videos on there for you guys to learn, educate yourself. Of course, you guys can always go to the website, CoachAnthonyBoxing.com, and learn boxing the right way, man. We're giving out a lot of game, and we got some more heat coming very soon. I want to say thank you to everybody who pulled up, and we're going to be chopping it up all weekend, guys. So make sure you hit that bell notification. Also, make sure you guys have my phone number, okay, and text me right now at 215-709-5437, so you can be alerted when I go live, so you can be alerted when I got some kind of a free tip or something like that for you guys to go ahead and learn boxing. That's how you guys can get a hold of me. And yeah, Eddie, we'll be on here tomorrow, man, chopping it up. And
Yes, sir.
you know what I mean? That's what it is. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for the love. Talk to y'all tomorrow.